Remember that all attacks or modes of defensiveness are fear-driven responses by those desperately seeking to be loved. July 16, 2016. The illusion, your worldly environment built with the collective intent to experience separation, is collapsing. Humanity's spiritual awakening is causing it to fragment and shatter into myriad irreparable components. Vast numbers of you have seen through the veil that appears to separate you from your divine source, and it is dissolving like morning mist as more and more of the fear-driven dishonesty and corruption within all of your human societies right across the world is exposed by whistleblowers and courageous investigative journalists. The electronic connectedness that enables people all over the world to communicate almost instantaneously with each other is the solvent in which the illusion is so effectively and rapidly being dissolved. Your modern technologies, when sanely and lovingly developed, are of invaluable assistance in your process of awakening, and each day further new ones are being developed and brought into the public domain. Change, on the scale never before seen in your illusory and conflict-driven world, is happening in every field of human endeavor, and as a result, there is absolutely no one on earth at this moment in humanity's spiritual evolution who is completely unaware of what is happening. Yes, there are still many in positions of authority who choose not to see, who refuse to be aware that change on an unprecedented scale is occurring planet-wide. Do not concern yourselves about these frightened ones who are attempting to maintain the status quo, the old order, in which a few with wealth, influence, and power continue to believe that it is their inalienable right to control the world and enslave its inhabitants. That mindset or belief system, which depended on the human community's acceptance of it as valid for it to work, is an aspect of the illusion, of the games that humanity has been playing for eons, that has now been shown to be totally unworkable, and those who continue to hold that vision are being removed from their authoritative positions and finding themselves no longer in power. The old power structures, that kept you subservient to authoritarian elites, and that claim to be democratic systems in which everyone was heard and honored, are being dismantled, and those who operated them are being released from duty, much to their dismay. New systems, honoring all on the planet and respecting and protecting each individual's right to live free and abundantly, have been prepared, and will shortly come into operation. Enormous preparations have already been made to ensure that a smooth transition into these new systems takes place quickly and effectively so that the current seeming chaos and confusion worldwide comes to an abrupt end, as the old, outdated, and conflict-driven methods of human interaction are exchanged for the new and harmonious systems for which so many of you have been hoping and praying. The tsunami of love has done its work well, and every human now has within them the ability and awareness to lovingly embrace and engage with the essential changes to relationships at every level of society that the new systems will establish. You, the light bearers and light workers, have done amazing work as you have set and continue to set the intent each day to be loving in every situation, thus intensifying the effect of the tsunami as it flows caressingly and continuously across the planet, embracing every individual on earth at this point in your spiritual evolution. There is no one on earth at present who is not feeling and responding most positively to its influence. Make a point of responding daily with joy and gratitude to the inner knowing you all share, that humanity is in the process of awakening, and that the process is not only irreversible, but is in fact gathering momentum. Then reconfirm your intent to make it happen through your unconditional love and acceptance of every soul on earth, every soul without exception. Remember that all attacks or modes of defensiveness are fear-driven responses by those desperately seeking to be loved. Your intent to be only loving is the most effective way to melt the fear that has been endemic on the planet for so long, and now you can clearly see the inspiring results of those holy intentions in places that have for so long been driven by conflict and distrust. In all areas of conflict across the globe, families who have suffered appallingly are coming together from both sides of those conflicts to meet in compassion with the intent to understand one another, and to heal the wounds that they have been inflicting on each other. Sharing their experiences of the horrific suffering that they have undergone with those who have for so long been their enemies, shows them quite clearly that in conflicts no one wins, but that all suffer and to no avail. And those meetings are born from love, from the intense need and desire for love that conflict denies. Truly, all want only love. Conflicts have always arisen due to fear that instead of being addressed, has been buried and denied. Fear is a powerful aspect of the illusion that holds you in its thrall and leads to preemptive attacks that strengthen it. Your wars on drugs, poverty, homelessness, and terror, as well as police-keeping military engagements in foreign lands, are like your family disagreements on behavioral issues, exercises in judgment based on ego-driven opinions by those who would retain power over others, but on a much larger scale. When conflicts expand, as they almost always do, the ability to connect personally is lost, and people then choose to support opposing sides in what they see as necessary conflicts to re-establish peace on their terms. Finally, you have realized that this never works, that conflicts always escalate, and that the numbers of those suffering also escalates, leading to an increased sense of fear and anger, and inducing a desire for vengeance. Love is fearless because, in truth, there is nothing to fear. When you surrender to love, fear diminishes, and as your ability and intent to be loving strengthens, then fear falls away. Truly, as we have so often told you, no matter what the question is, no matter what the problem appears to be, love is always the answer. And humanity is now becoming increasingly aware of this divine truth. Individually, you need to remind yourselves of this daily on waking, then remind yourselves again throughout the day, especially when situations arise that seem ready to explode into conflict. Fear arising is the ego's attempt to control you and draw you back into the illusion from your personal space of peace. It thrives on conflict, and cares not that it brings you suffering and shame. By being your true selves, beings of love in a chaotic world, you disarm the ego, leaving it speechless when its only wish is to shout and scream. In the absence of screaming and shouting, the desire for conflict subsides, peace arises, and love embraces all present. Be yourselves, enjoy life as it arises moment to moment, and your individual energy fields will meld, creating a space that welcomes all who approach you. Your loving brother, Jesus. Channeled by John Smallman. johnsmallman2.wordpress.com